More match to go here in Phoenix on a Friday night for the Phoenix Championships on the 2022 AVP Tour. And man, did we dial up a good one to close out our night. It's going to be Chase and Troy. That's Chase Budinger, who, yes, well, last time he was in this arena was playing with a different ball. Alongside Troy Field, and they're facing off against Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb. One more, and this place has been jam-packed and pumping since we got started. And again, we are so thrilled to have you with us. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Olympic gold medalist Dane Blanton, and we already know this one is going to be a doozy as we have 6 teams in action, of course, here in the championships.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle like every one of these matches because you only have 6 teams, right? So it's like you put the best of the best in the pot, stir it up, and we're getting some amazing volleyball so far. It's so fun to watch. But I think the Taylor Crabb, Taylor Sander are due. They've been playing so well. They've gotten into the finals at times, and they're trying to get to that semifinal. As you can see, the winner of this one plays the number 2 seed in the tournament, and that is Theo Brunner and Kane Schulk. So it is fast and furious, and this has been awesome so far.
There's been a word I've used so many times this evening already, and that is physicality. And these 2 teams are going to bring it. We talk about how this is jumper sand. It's shallow. There's no wind. There's no sun. It's perfect conditions, which means these athletes, they are going to be flying. Will we see slam dunks? Well, potentially. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe, I mean, Chase, we've seen that from one point or another, right? We've seen Troy Field touch the bottom of the pier. Chase Budinger was the slam dunk winner, right?
Yeah, Chase Budinger, 2012 slam dunk. You know, he didn't win the championship, but this guy can play.
Oh, yeah, and everyone's been talking about Taylor Sander and how much physicality he brings. He's one of the best jumpers on the sand. That's going to be interesting, too. I was talking to Rich Lamborn, who was just up here in the booth, and I said, well, you know, I have your guys thinking, man, these guys are going to jump out of the arena. And he goes, yeah, but if you're talking about a team that's physical, it's Chase and Troy as well on the other side, wearing the pink Slunks hat. These 4 are about ready to go, as is Mark Sherman, who is down on the sand. Take it away, Mark.
One match to go on this wonderful Friday evening in Phoenix. Y'all are looking real good, by the way. Who's coming back tomorrow? Who's here all day tomorrow for the rest of the Phoenix Championships? Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be here too. I hope all of you will be here as well. But you know what? We got one more thing to take care of before tomorrow. It's time to send one more team to the semifinals here in Phoenix. Let's meet the first guys, shall we? And you know what? This guy, well, he never really played indoor volleyball, did he? No, he's a beach guy. Troy, welcome to the indoor beach volleyball tournament. This sand is a little bit jumpier. You already jump real high. I want to see you jump over the net, just like smash down, end up on the other side of the net. Ladies and gentlemen, he is so entertaining, so fun to watch, an insane athlete. He is Troy Field. And his partner out of the University of Arizona, a fantastic volley and basketball player, played in the NBA, including for part of the season for your Phoenix Suns, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear it for Mr. Chase Budinger. Let's go. And their opponents, oh, talk about high flying, talk about highlight reels. This guy has already had a few amazing plays that have been watched around the world over and over again. And this is an environment where we could see his best yet. I cannot wait to see what he will do. Ladies and gentlemen, out of Brigham Young University, let me hear it for Taylor Sander. Oh, and his partner, ladies and gentlemen, out of the baby court at Outrigger Canoe Club in Honolulu, Hawaii, out of Long Beach State University, a many-time winner on the AVP, and he has got a long career ahead of him yet. Let me hear it for the Bug, Mr. Taylor Crabb.
One more match to go. Troy Field will get us started. Known as one of the best jumpers out here. Let's see what he can start with, though. From the service line, playing alongside Chase Budinger, who is back here in Phoenix in 2016, playing for the Suns, the 7-year NBA vet turned beach volleyball player. He's one of the best high school volleyball players in the country. Now facing off against, the best outside hitter in the country in collegiate volleyball. That's Taylor Crabb. And a newer partnership in 2022 with Taylor Sander, 2-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist.
Yeah, you talked about physicality. These 4 athletes, just incredible. And they're going to bring it, right? With Taylor Sander so accustomed to playing indoor, I think with this jumper sand, when you're on a man-made court, he's going to even get up higher. That's why I think it gives him a bit of an advantage.
Will be interesting. You just saw Troy Field, who's known to have that crazy vertical as well, showing already his shoulders above the height of the net. Chase Budinger will serve and run up as he just misses that long. Feels like every year we have Chase Budinger out on tour. He's got a new life development. This year's, he has a new kid. First-time dad. Little Beckham is here in the stands alongside his wife, Jess Fine. Now Jess Budinger. The year before, they got married. Or maybe 2 years ago. I got to remember, there was a dog in there at one point as well.
Yeah, Chase, Chase is the kind of guy who's kind of written his own story, He was an absolute stud in high school, the National Player of the Year for volleyball, but then he decides to go to University of Arizona to play basketball, gets drafted, goes to the NBA for 7-8 years, and wraps it up there, and then goes back to the volleyball courts and has had success every single step of the way.
Yeah, he first came out to the AVP Tour as an ace, goes the direction of Crabb and Sander, but he first came out to the beach back in 2018, and he was playing alongside Sean Rosenthal, the Superman. Had a couple solid finishes there, including a second-place finish. Made it to a final in San Francisco back in 2018. Troy Field fighting that one off the sideline. Field playing some defense in his first season playing the down defender. Unreal, and he just gets it right on the sideline. That was wild. His hat's crooked and makes sense after that one.
Yeah, he made a motion that he hit that off his forearm in the end. There's the one-handed dig, and then kind of misses that, and so thankful that it was in. Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb having a nice little celebration.
Sander not quite finding his serve yet. I will tell you, you got to watch out when that thing comes your direction. Throughout the season, we've had multiple highlight reels from Taylor Sander, whether it was from the service line or from his attack. A couple of those going viral on social media as you see the hitting percentage. There's Chase all the way up at the top, leading the pack. You could hear that snap from even where we're located in the arena.
Yeah, Taylor Crabb is so crafty on that hit right there. He kind of waited on the deceleration. When he started coming down, that's when he snapped it and threw the timing off for the defenders.
Looks like Troy Field is trying to find some deeper angles into the court right now. Short serve to Troy Field. That's just a nice play right there from Chase Budinger.
Yeah, what that is, it's an offhanded option play, and he kind of turns his shoulders completely square to the net and then kind of cuffs that ball down quickly. Great court awareness by Chase.
Challenging the block and trying to find his own one-handed stab is Troy Field. So a quick start so far for Sander and Crabb. Two guys still looking for their first title together. And Taylor Sander hit his first title on the AVP Tour. That just goes chiseling. As for his partner, Taylor Crabb, he is looking for his 9th, having played alongside the legendary Jake Gibb. And a net violation regardless. The slither shot, as Rich Lamborn educated me on. That's literally what they call that, the slither.
Well, so many people look at Taylor Crabb and say he's only 6 feet tall, but he's so creative in his offense, whether he's hitting on the way down, whether he's squeaking the ball low. I mean, he can do it all, and that is why he not only survives, but he thrives against these trees that are out there that are 6'9", 6'10". He can deal with them at 6 feet because of it.
Here's a look at Crabb and Sander and what they've done this season. You see so many second place. They've been so close. Second in New Orleans, second in Hermosa, and second in Chicago, where they lost to Try and Trevor in the final.
How about that one? Looked like a field goal right there between Chase Budinger's outstretched arms and making it look easy is Taylor Crabb. Here's a good look. He kicks out, then slow to fast, and he just goes right over the top of the head, challenging the block of Budinger. And then right back at it, Sander with a trickler. And so if you're not careful, they'll get points in bunches and all of a sudden have a 6-point lead.
That's a great point. At 11-5, you see Taylor Sander and his numbers, 2.3 blocks. When he first came out to the sand at the beginning of the season, there was always a lot of questions or speculation as to what he'd be able to do as a blocker. He is 6'5", and yet he's called as an undersized blocker. He's done some nice work. You see the 2.3 blocks per set.
Sander and Crabb hitting 857 right now. Field and Budinger hitting 500, which is respectable, but you got to slow down. The team of Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb just really efficient right now and getting the ball to the sand. We knew it would happen, but they're doing it kind of with finesse shots right now. They're not banging every single ball out there, the Sanders. And we think that when that heats up for Taylor Sander, I think watch out. I haven't seen him go back and completely unleash the serve or the hit. We've seen some spectacular hits from him this season.
Maybe that's what Troy and Chase are thinking might be coming their direction, though. So playing in the favor of Sander and Crabb. These two we mentioned made the Chicago final. And I talked to Taylor Crabb about that. I said, you know, after you looked back at the film and maybe assessed and reflected as you guys were so close, he said, you know, it was an amazing tournament for us. You know, obviously the loss in the finals hurt, but when he looked back, he thought they were playing some of the best volleyball that they had played all year. And said, that's exactly where we want to be coming into this championships. Said every tournament we've been getting better and better. And that was the goal at the beginning of the season. It wasn't to win a specific number of titles, but it was just to get better every day.
A technical timeout here in the match of the day.
So 14-7 into the technical timeout. Field and Budinger have to find a little something special here as they trail by 7. Speaking of something special, well, it's time for you to make your Phoenix Championship predictions on Bally Play's AVP Predictor game and take your shot to win, get this, 2 official AVP game balls signed by the 2022 AVP champs who will be crowned right here tomorrow. Just scan that QR code or go to ballyplay.com/AVP opportunity to make your winning predictions. If you predict it correctly, well, again, you get those 2 AVP Beach volleyballs signed by the champs. So it's time for you to get those picks in right now. 889 is the efficiency for Crabb and Sander. There's a look at Taylor Crabb's numbers this season. 447, 2.3 digs. That's 3rd in the tour. Number 2 in kills for Taylor Crabb.
Impressive stats right there by Taylor Crabb. And what's impressive, excuse me, right now is that the Taylors are just doing it all over the court. You know, they are putting the ball away offensively. They're serving tough. It's not like a lot of the fireworks that we normally see. It's just efficiency right now from them, and they're putting it on Field and Budinger, doubling their score right now, 14-7. And for Budinger and Field, they're just going to have to start taking some risks, trying to score some points, because right now the Taylors aren't giving up much.
889 again. You talked about the efficiency. That's the number for Crabb and Sander. There's the aces to service errors. Not a bad ratio for the number 3 seed.
I like that serve from Field. Really going for it. But look at this shot. It's just too good. Pursuit is there by Troy, but he just can't get on it.
Well, you'd imagine the efficiencies to be rather high with these 2 teams. The defense just becomes that much more difficult when you got 4 guys out here in some sand like this trying to find a ball to dig. Whoa, high flying Troy Field.
Yeah, that was really nice right there. Quick pass up to the net, and Troy Field was there to rip it. The consistency is what that team needs to be able to continue to do that each and every time.
And a second through the uprights. Taylor Crabb is good for 6.
The thing right now, you know, everything going their way right now, and what Chase Budinger has to do is start to get his hands on a couple of those hits and change things. And look at that serve. Wow. Cross-court serve by Taylor Sander right there. And he kind of just placed that one. Didn't rip it, just went for the placement.
Oh, he ripped that one.
Whoa. Oh,
And
that's
the
a
double
tight call.
call.
That's a really tight call. Ball came out very quickly out of the hands. And Taylor Crabb's going to have a little bit of a discussion.
Most of that rally was awesome.
Phoenix is letting our officials hear about it too. But that was the rip serve you were talking about from Sander right there.
That second serve was a totally different ball game. Taylor Crabb and Troy Field both jumping up over 30 inches out of the sand. Most of the players, I don't know who the players that you've talked to, Cameron, but everyone I've talked to said this is a real jumper's beach. It's really hard packed, as any man-made court would be, and that gets all the players up into the air, really ripping the ball.
Yeah, without a doubt. But one of the things I think we need to maybe address into the set number 2 is the fact that Chase Budinger has had about 3, maybe 4 shots now go straight through his block, so through the upright, so might have to make an adjustment there as both Taylors are kind of attacking that middle zone between the right and left hands of Chase Budinger.
Well, you know, you bring up a great point. When you block a hitter and you get dead even on him, so his hit is going right over your head, that's very difficult to stop. I always like to coach that outside hand has to be head up right on the ball, and therefore you don't get those field goals as often going through the uprights of your arm. So you got to get one or the other arm right on that ball. Usually the outside arm is best.
I like that. So maybe taking away the line or with the outside arm.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, exactly. You know that at least that ball's lined up on the arm. We saw A roundhouse by Troy Field. He got the crowd fired up, but not good enough. Taylor Sander ends up squeaking it down the line. I don't know how Troy Field does that. He almost throws the shoulder out of socket as he does a roundhouse and got the crowd excited.
Got to find something special now. 11-20. It is set point for Sander and Crabb. Whoa, another wicked serve. Popping that just off the top of his hand. See Bud.
Yeah, what an athletic play by Troy Field and Chase Budinger to keep that alive and to get the winner.
So one back now, 12-20. Little wrist away, Troy Field's on it, quick set. And they may have been able to make a play on that, but it falls just in between the two, Taylor and Taylor. Nice set, and just finds that inside hand. And set number one to Sander and Crabb. Look like they are on a mission right now.
They really do. They look so composed. It's not a lot of fireworks. It's very efficient. They know how important it is to win this one, and then tomorrow they will have 2 matches if they move on from there.
Right here in Phoenix, Arizona. So, this is the Scott Parker match of the night, which you would think they would get through the effort to stop.
Shop and learn more now. Buy Waikea Hawaiian Volcanic Water. Sustainably sourced and naturally alkaline. Live Aloha. Drink Waikea. Buy Fabletics premium performance apparel that won't break the bank. And buy Wedbush, your investment partner on and off the sand.
Get ready for a whole new wave of White Claw. New full flavor White Claw Surf. Sensational refreshment for a taste like no other.
We all know it's a good idea to recycle. But what happens to that aluminum can or all that paper after you put it in the recycling bin? Where does it go? What does it become in its second life? See how WM is always working for a sustainable tomorrow at WM.com/stories.
It's the choices we make that define us.
Tryon Trevor is coming off a tough, heartbreaking loss.
And ultimately, the enemy is within. Some people want it. Some wish for it. But others make it happen.
Tryon Trevor is super lethal, bringing fire and passion to the court.
How will you take charge?
Make another day brighter.
Set one stats now on the screen for the Phoenix champions. This is going to be interesting. Sander, Crabb, Field, and Budinger. Budinger and Field got to find a little something here as they trailed 13-21. Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blanton. And the efficiency was very much the difference maker, Dane.
Yeah, and the ace serves, right? 3-0 in ace department for Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb. They're just playing really efficient. And as the season's gone on, I think they've gotten more composed, more comfortable with one another. And it looks like it's coming easy right now.
I caught up with Chase Budinger prior to this match and asked him, what do you have to keep in mind when facing the Tays? As Troy misses that just into the net. They said, well, this is a team that sides out at a really high percentage and they don't make a ton of errors. He said, you're going to have to find a way to beat them. They won't beat themselves. And he also talked about trying to limit the service run of that guy right there, Taylor Sander, because he can be that dangerous.
He is absolutely teeing off on that serve, and Chase Budinger making up for it right there and getting the point, but you don't want to pass that. Nobody wants to pass that. It's as if he's up at the net with no block in his face and just crushing it.
2-1 now, doing what he had hoped, which was slowing down that service run of Taylor Sander. Limit him to 1 to 2 points. You talked about how they can go off streaking there.
Just when they start to get a little traction or something goes their way, it seems like Budinger and Field can't get that next point. And that's what this sport's all about, a little bit of momentum. If they could get, 2-3 points, some bunches here and there, but the Taylor's not allowing it.
Winner of this, of course, will face the number 2 seed in Brunner and Schalk. They have been in the house in the Footprint Center, watching all the action. As the 1 and 2 seeds get a bye first round on both the men's and women's. I mean, that was cross body plus cross wrist. I don't know how he just hit that angle.
And he almost turned his shoulders even further away from where he was going to hit it for the deception. Just opened up a complete channel into that angle. Pretty by Taylor Sander. Another bomb of a serve, and Taylor Crabb not happy with the set. Neither is Taylor Sander, and they're giving it to the head referee right now. And I don't blame them. They got a call early that was very tight, and that ball was tight. Didn't get the call, so they're going to let them have it. And, the refs are only human. So next time that ball comes out, expect it maybe to go the way of the Sanders. I'm sorry, the Taylors.
And, yep, going up and up again is Taylor Sander.
Well, a few weeks ago, the Laguna Beach Open, the Sander brothers played together. So that's where that comes from.
How'd that go?
Well, they didn't win, but they played well. It's always, what a crazy athletic family right there. And both brothers, it was fun to see them play together. And that event was awesome. You got to see a lot of the pros play with some different partners, and it's a lot of fun. It's apparently the oldest event going, even longer than the Manhattan Open, but obviously it's not part of the AVP tour.
It is a partner of the AVP, though.
Correct.
5-4 now.
Oh, jeez.
Long Beach State 49er right there, unloading on that ball into the cross court.
That's how a 6-foot outside hitter becomes the National Player of the Year, with a rifle of a cannon. And you just never know when he's going to unleash it, right? He's got such finesse shots, but you got to be ready for that power. Great dig.
That nearly hit the Jumbotron.
Oh, there it is. Saw it from all the way up in our position. Little rotation on it, and the pressure that had been put on the ref right there, you had to think he was going to call that one. That one did have a little extra rotation on it.
7-4. Taking some pace off and getting some help from the net. That slap back over. Ball is everywhere at this point. What is happening? What in the world did we just watch? Dane's loving it. He can't catch his breath.
I don't think I've ever seen the ball go over on the first contact unintentionally 3 to 4 times.
We saw the bump jump from Sander, too. Oh, man. Highlight, low light, I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, that was funny.
8-4, just some funky play there, but nonetheless, Crabb and Sander find the point. See Rich Lamborn there, the coach. Crabb and Sander, here's a look back at it.
Here's a look. You kind of goofed him up on the serve, and that ball goes over the net, then right over again, and then Field gives it right back to Taylor Crabb. So multiple opportunities. Chase Budinger kind of had a look on his face like, we need to call a timeout. We need to reel this in at 8-4. And definitely an interesting play right there. And just like all the other plays, it seems like Taylor Crabb, Taylor Sander are getting the upper hand each and every time.
Oh, we've been talking this whole time about Sander having the jump. You just saw Taylor Crabb's numbers right there, 30-inch vertical in this sand. And by the way, if you remove this sand and have these guys play on the hard court, or at least the cement that's currently underneath this sand, imagine how much higher that vertical would be. I mean, these are some of our highest flyers on the AVP Tour. And speaking of highest flyers, there's a look at Troy Field now at 34.6 in the sand. That's wild.
Yeah, that's insane. He's a freakish athlete and has a freakish vertical leap. He kind of hovers when he gets up there as well. He kind of hangs a little longer than the normal. Another tough serve. That's been a huge difference, putting so much pressure on Budinger and Field. That time, Budinger with a beautiful shot to get out of trouble.
Yeah, but made up for the pass with that set from Troy Field. That was nice. 3 aces to 3 errors. Field and Budinger still looking for their first ace. Oh, and that's C-Bud in the backcourt. Says, give me a chance to transition. Troy Field has traditionally been a blocker on the AVP Tour since his arrival.
I like that mix-up right there. You know, sometimes that's the mix-up. You put Chase Budinger in the backcourt, makes a nice defensive dig, and converts it. You know, he can play in every position. He just traditionally is a blocker. But if things aren't going the way you'd like them, sometimes you got to mix it up. And they're going to send Troy Field back to the net, but he misses a jump serve. That's a pretty basic jump serve right there. He's not going for an ace, so that ball needs to be inbounds.
Just a few too many errors piling up on the side of Field and Budinger.
Well, I'd like to see Field. I don't mind him missing, but you got to be going for the ace.
Yeah,
oh
good
my!
point.
I thought that was a double contact.
And Troy did too, throwing the sand up in the air.
Yeah, and rightfully so right there. That ball had a lot of rotation, and he's called lesser infractions on the double contact. It is a judgment call, but all you can ask as a player is you want consistency. But it is hard. It's hard to judge those balls as the head referee.
And that's the second time Troy Field has gone for that shot, and it has been picked up by Taylor Crabb right there. Just missing that long, though, but Taylor Crabb all over that.
Taylor Crabb's so quick in the sand, and once he goes down, he starts crawling after the ball, and he does not let many fall to the sand.
Field at the net again, working with the split block. Did he get a piece of it? No. Ball is out of bounds, so the net helping them, and all of a sudden it's 8-10. So the split block maybe working in their favor at this point, Dane.
I like the mix-up. You know, you got to get something going, and it seemed like Crabb and Sander were just a little too comfortable. Here's another dig by Chase. And a put it away.
9-10. It's almost as if Chase knew all of a sudden he's going, they're going to, of course, shoot on me. He's just running towards that high line shot.
Yeah, you just change the dynamic a little bit when you put someone in the backcourt who's traditionally maybe not there. And right now the ball is coming up and they're converting. And look at that. Troy Field with a block, and all of a sudden it's all tied up at 10. Smart play. I like smart switch up by Field and Budinger.
And they've done this several times throughout the season. You know, it's interesting. One of the questions I asked him, I said, well, how has your strategy maybe evolved or changed throughout the season, as he misses that just wide? And Chase told me, he goes, you know, it's an ongoing process. Every single time we kind of evolve one direction, and then maybe we make another switch and find something that maybe will help us and change the direction we're going. But these two constantly trying to find a little something. 11-10 now. So 10-11 in the technical timeout. Chase obviously upset missing that last serve, but there's a lot going on around volleyball. And take a look at this. This is coming up October 10th through the 23rd. This is Phil and April's beach volleyball camp. And by Phil, we mean the GOAT, Phil Dahlhauser, and the other GOAT, April Ross, who are going to be putting on an adult beach volleyball clinic in Santa Monica the 10th through the 23rd. It's for those 18 and older, as well as teens 14 to 18. And hey, it's so nice. Just scan that QR code to find out more information, as well as sign up. Again, you can also head to philandapril.com to get some coaching from the Olympic gold medalists, both April Ross and Phil Dahlhauser. I think I may need to take the class.
I think it's cool that they're doing it for 18 and older as well as the kids. As we look at the men's champion so far in 22, Tri-born Trevor Crabb, winners of 3 of the last 4. The hottest team on tour, no question about it, and they are also the #1 seed here in the championships. How about that?
There's another good ball. 12-10. I mentioned Phil Dahlhauser. He won the first 2 tournaments in 2022. First alongside Andy Benish, the second alongside Casey Patterson. Some crazy numbers handed to me by our guy, Dougie Strauss. First set for the Taylors, it was 14 kills, 0 errors on 18 attempts, hitting .778. Second set so far, 5 kills, 4 errors on 12 attempts, hitting .083. Definitely a tale of 2 different sets for those two. Wow, coming up with something special there on the out-of-system play. Taylor to Taylor.
Sander sacrificing right there, and I don't know how he got that ball up and in a beautifully hittable position. Here it is, behind. It looks easy right there. Out of system, translating into a point so easily for them. Nice poke shot right there by Field.
Taylor with a little approach and a little shot. Oh, and they're calling that out of bounds, saying that ball touched the net outside the antenna.
Yeah, that was interesting right there. Here comes the dig. I don't think it touched anything. I do think, I think he believed that the head ref didn't like the way that was contacted. I think it was like a lift motion.
No, he said it was on the way up is what it was. So the ball can't, after Troy hit that, it skidded across outside the antenna. Because the call was out of bounds. That's what he showed. Open net, Troy Field. (13-14). Troy Field, 11 kills, hitting .348. Just 28 years old. He's yet to find a title on the AVP Tour. He's been close a few times. He's in the final back in Austin. Right now, they're just starting to chip in front of Chase Budinger.
Yeah, make him move a little bit. They've recognized that difference, that switch in the defense, and also recognized Chase playing some great defense in the backcourt, and now they're going to make him run a few balls down instead of trying to overpower.
Distance traveled for Budinger and Field substantially higher than that of Sander Crabb. Coming in, and a big 4 block for Taylor Sander, jumping into the angle. Well timed.
Yeah, I love that technique right there. He waited, was patient, and then he got over and pressed with that right hand at the last second into the angle and just had enough court for it to land in bounds.
There's the option. Just toss it up there. Just let him unload. I love watching this and the fact that we have a great vantage point to see Jess Budinger with little baby Beckham at the back of the court. She's not really even watching all that much. She'll look up to the Jumbotron from time to time, just bouncing around, keeping her nerves intact. And her baby asleep, more importantly. 15-16.
How old is Beckham?
Just a few months now. I think it was born right before Hermosa.
Chase with another nice rundown. Just couldn't get that ball up in the air, but like his quickness.
I asked Chase what he learned about dad life to this point. He said, you need a lot of caffeine, a lot of coffee. And he has an incredible respect for all the mothers in the world and how difficult that job really is. That's another good serve from Sander. Man, we have seen a lot of doubles called.
Yeah, that was the right call. The ball had some side spin on it, and Chase didn't challenge it either. Didn't even turn to the ref. He knew that it didn't come out like he usually sets the ball. But you're absolutely right. We've seen quite a few.
Which is odd when we don't have windy conditions.
Yeah. Nor humidity or moisture.
Trying to play that from coming down from his block is Troy Field. Losing his hat, but dig for Troy Field. And he finds it. Taylor Sander put his finger in the air, praying and hoping that that ball would be out of bounds. It was not. So 16-19, a different side switch than the potential 20-15. This is still within reach.
Going to have to be a little magic to make this one happen, but love the comeback. See if they can continue it.
Through the middle, but see Bud somehow gets that. But they're going to argue for 4 touches right here. But they're going to call this as a joust instead of a block touch. What do you think, Dane?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks like Taylor Crabb comes in with an open hand, anticipating the block, but it didn't really, the block kind of joust, but it didn't really happen.
So you think that's a block touch?
Yes.
So he shouldn't. That should have been called as 4.
Yes, because the joust really didn't happen.
Okay. That's a big turning point if it still goes to Crabb or to Field and Budinger.
Oh.
Again, that just makes it a 2-point game.
Let's take a look at it here. See, there's the push, which is somewhat illegal right there because there was not simultaneous contact. But
oh, interesting.
But you know, there wasn't. There was
Yeah.
a push by Taylor Crabb, and yeah, if it was a block, though, it was 4 contacts, no question.
It's a little controversy to get us near the conclusion of this one. 2017 now makes it match point for Crabb and Sander. They go to Field from the outside, and he goes right at the head of Taylor Crabb. 18-20. You're gonna look to do it with a side out. Crabb challenges the block and finds the final point. 21-18. Crabb and Sander find themselves with a sweep. That actually makes our 4th sweep of the night. No upsets, no 3 sets. Wow.
Well, yeah.
It's going to make tomorrow interesting. So Crabb and Sander are going to face Brunner and Schalk. We have 10 matches to play tomorrow.
I know, it's just incredible.
It's going to be a good day.
You know, I think all the players tonight realize they need to win efficiently because tomorrow's going to be a long day. And you couldn't play any extra. You didn't want to go to that 3rd set, and no one did.
Absolutely not. We will see so much volleyball, though, here from the Footprint Center as we take a look at the White Claw Pure Spike of the day. This one coming from Taylor Sander. Yeah, that's the one you liked where his shoulders actually went the opposite direction.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was pretty. Definitely the spike of the day. Again, brought to you by White Claw Hard Seltzer. So those two moving on in the winners position into the semifinal as you take a look at the match stats. Number 3 seed taking down the number 6.
Yeah, that efficiency finally came down to a realistic level for Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb. And that's how Field and Budinger started to really get back into this one. But it was just a little too much, you know. Every long rally, every tough play seemed to go the way of the Taylors. And they're playing some really great volleyball.
So it's been a great day of volleyball. 4 matches played, 4 sweeps, 10 to go tomorrow. It has been phenomenal here in Phoenix. The crowds have been electric, and we can't wait to have them back all day tomorrow. But with that, we'd also be remiss not to mention the loss of Greg Lee from 1951 to 2022, Dean.
Yeah, the AVP and the volleyball community lost a legend on Wednesday with the passing of Greg Lee. 29 victories he had. He was inducted into the Beach Hall of Fame in '97. Did not play college volleyball, but won 2 national championships playing under John Wooden at UCLA on the basketball team. And he could do it all. He was a pioneer of the sport. Claim to fame, 13 consecutive victories with his partner Jim Mangus over the 1975 and 76 season. Greg Lee is survived by his wife Lisa, his son Ethan, his daughter Jessamine, and of course his brother John Lee.
A true loss for the volleyball community and a true legend of the game. Speaking of legends, we'll have some more legends back out on the sand tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us here on Friday from Phoenix for the 2022 AVP Phoenix Championships. We'll see you all in the morning.